future we make together, shared growth, sustainability, and solidarity. Now, as a successful entrepreneur bridging Africa with many other continents, what's your overall assessment of the summit?
Okay, so my overall assessment is that South Korea targeting 48 African nations and 25 presidents. In business, I would term it as an opportunity. Africa is a continent. So a state targeting a continent, you could look at the opportunities that is being advised by Korean government. You are looking at 1.4 billion people in Africa, natural resources, arable land, minerals, and so many virgin. Africa is a virgin opportunity for a country like South Korea. So targeting it up is a very strategic. The Chinese took over some years back. Now it's a turn for the Koreans. And I think that the president needs to be commended. President Yoon is a very strategic leader and need to be commended, and the people of Korea, they have supported Africa over years. And I think this is a right time. Africa is now looking at the global crisis, financial insecurity, food security, and other things. This is a time that Korea have to extend a hand to look at the possibility of bridging the gap and taking more advantage of bridging up. I've been informed of about 10 billion support and 14 billion export financing to Korean companies. So I think it's a very good opportunity, and looking at the assessment, it's the right time now that Korean government is taking opportunity, and it's good for business. The Korean businesses, yesterday we had a African Korean businesses summit, and we could lead that. I myself met about 15 Korean companies we are looking at opportunities of making businesses in Africa. So I think in the total assessment, it's the right time, the appropriate time, and the Korean government need to be commended.
Well, Africa is gaining more and more significance on the global stage. We can't stress that. No longer an option, but an imperative. Now, Professor Gouda, Africa is home to 30% of the world's critical minerals, and securing key mineral supply chains was one of President Yoon's main objectives. Do you think the summit yielded some tangible results on that front?
That's a great question. Let me tell you some numbers here. I'm an economist, so I like talking in numbers. First of all, the first thing that Associated Press this morning, when they covered the summit, the headline was, South Korean President vows to expand mineral ties with Africa and send more development aid. So, I mean, looking at all the business, as what Dr. Joseph have mentioned, and all the works, Associated Press have just tried to pick on the mineral ties. So this shows how significant the topic of minerals is. As you mentioned, 92% of platinum, 56% of cobalt, 54% of manganese, and 36% of chromium are located in Africa. And the interesting thing is that all of those minerals are used in the green energy, in electric vehicles and in chip manufacturing and all that. So actually the interesting thing is that Korea will have trade with African countries with regard to minerals, and then they will try to export this to Africa back again as with value added and so on. The interesting thing also talking about minerals is that when we are looking at the mines, critical mineral mines in Africa, U.S. has secured over 1,900 mines. Japan has secured over 134 mines in Africa. Korea so far have secured only 36 mines. And this is before the summit, you know. So after the summit, I think, of course, we need to see how many, mines will be allocated and how many cooperation will happen with this. But Korea is heading this direction. So this will be interesting to know.
So hopes are high that Korea will work together with Africa.